Okay, I'll go on mute now.
Okay. All right, so welcome everybody. And this is the sort of part 2 really of the breathwork sessions that we were doing. And today the focus for the breathwork is more about the looking at different techniques to help with the wellness really. So sort of mental and emotional well-being. So these practices are going to be, very good for people who perhaps suffer with anxiety or stress-related disorders, and also people who just find themselves really in stressful situations. And then we're going to finish with a technique as well that is good to help promote sleeping, so good for people with sleep disorders. So we're going to start with a bit of diaphragmatic breathing. Just one moment, sorry, my cat is making a noise. I'm going to just chuck him out the way. Apologies. And so what I'd like you to do is just to come to a nice comfortable seat. So if you can place your feet sort of flat on the floor, and if you joined, I don't know whether I need to admit you. I'm going to try. So we're going to start as we did before, just finding the posture. Hello. If you want to sort of turn off your sound and camera and just sort of get yourself nice and relaxed, and we're going to start with our first technique. So just going to begin really nice and gentle with just some diaphragmatic breathing. So what I want you to do is just settle yourself into a comfortable posture, sitting up tall, relaxing the shoulders. And you might like to just close the eyes as well, just so you can draw that attention inwards. And all I want you to do is just to place your hands on your belly, just resting them lightly. As you feel the body kind of settling in, just bringing the awareness to the belly and seeing if you can just take the breath a little deeper into that relaxed belly. As you're breathing, you're really drawing the breath fully into the diaphragm. And see if you can just relax into a nice, slow rhythm. Taking some deep breaths into the diaphragm. Lovely. So when you're ready, you can just open the eyes. And this was really just a bit of a settling breath. And hopefully it's just bringing you into that right frame of mind to get us started into our session. So this particular breath work, just sort of breathing into the diaphragm, it's what a lot of voice coaches use, singers do this, and a lot of their breathwork exercises are all about sort of strengthening the diaphragm, strengthening the respiratory muscles, and sort of taking the breath, like I say, a little deeper into the belly. So we're going to come back to that in just a moment as well, and we're going to do a little bit of yogic breathing. So what we're doing here is discovering the 3 phases, as it were, of the breath. So just as we did, staying in that posture, just softening the eyes, softening the gaze, or closing the eyes, whatever you prefer, and taking the hands back onto the belly, and just discovering that first phase of the breath again. So just letting the breath ease into the belly. And just holding your attention here for a moment, just focusing on that rise and fall in the belly. And then just shift the hands a little higher. So we're just taking them now just onto the sort of lower ribs, really. So just shifting the hands to the lower ribs. Still keeping that same full breath so you can feel it going into the belly, but now just focusing on that rise and fall in the lower ribs, the second phase of the breath. And then take the hands and just place them just under the collarbone, just resting the hands on the chest. And again, just feeling that breath come into the belly, into the lower ribs, but then reaching right up into the chest and just focusing your awareness now where the hands lay and just feeling the gentle rise and fall here in the body. Now just allow the hands to rest back in your lap and see if you can just put all those phases together, just following the flow of the breath. So relax the belly and just feeling the belly fill, the lower ribs, up into the collarbone. And then as you exhale, just reversing that action, feeling the air come from the higher chest, lower ribs and belly. And at first it can feel a little awkward, sort of feeling the breath in this way, but just sort of relax into it. See if you can just feel the phases of the breath and just let it be more natural. And then just bringing your focus away from the breath, just back into the body, just taking a moment to feel the weight of the body sitting here in the chair. Just again, feeling more familiar with your surroundings and the sounds around you before you gently open the eyes. Lovely. So that one's the yogic breath, looking at the different phases of the breath. And this, of course, encourages that diaphragm breathing. So encourages us to breathe deeply. And as we discovered sort of in our last session where we looked at the breath, a lot of us don't breathe properly. And the main issue really with the breathing is that we are breathing quite shallow. But the other thing is that we're not taking long enough breaths. And so you'll find that with all sort of breathing techniques, breath work, it's all about lengthening the breath. So the idea is with breath work, we train the breath to be a little longer and in line with the metabolic needs of the body. And so the techniques are often about lengthening the breath, but also by lengthening what we're doing, well, often what we do to lengthen the breath is we hold the breath as well to encourage that deep breath back in and, like I say, lengthening. So we're going to do another technique which involves a bit of breath holding. It's one of my favorites and it's a very easy one to do. It's called box breathing or square breath. And this one's actually been proven to help with sort of calming you, help with very stressful situations. and it's actually been used by Navy SEALs when they've been in tense situations. So it's a great technique, say for people who have panic attacks or people who suffer with anxiety, because when you can feel that rise of stress coming in the body, this is a nice sort of quick way of calming your body and sort of focusing on the breath. And it's nice and easy too. So the idea with this one is we breathe in for the count of 4, hold the breath for the count of 4, breathe out for 4, and hold for 4. So this is where that square comes in. So obviously, once you get more relaxed into it, you can extend that sequence to the count of 6 if you wish. So we'll find the same posture for this one. Nice and relaxed, and just soften the gaze or close the eyes. And just take a moment just to observe the body. And just release any tension that you might be holding, perhaps the lower back, the shoulders, and relax the face. And as the body feels relaxed, just checking in with your breath, your natural rhythm. And then when you feel ready, just joining in, so breathing in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Just continuing counting in your head. Keep counting, following the rhythm, the pace, and if you feel you can, just extending that to the count of 6, breathing in and out through the nose each time. So one more round. When you've finished your round, just let the breath again come back to a natural rhythm. And then just sending that awareness back into the physical body. Feel the connection the feet are making with the floor. The bottom is making with the chair. Feel the weight of the hands resting in the lap. And as you come back to the body, come back to the sense of being in this room. And just opening the eyes when you're ready. And as always, whenever we do breath work, whenever we do meditation, it's about slowing down. So don't sort of rush straight from the meditation. Just take your time to come in and out. And also use that time just to reflect on how you feel. Lovely. So I'm going to do one final technique with you today. And this was a technique made famous by a Dr. Andrew Weil, and he used this particular technique to help people with sleep disorders. And it can also be used for people who are going on long flights as well. And the idea with this one is it helps just put the body into that deep state of relaxation. So because of this, it is best carried out lying down. So if you do have that opportunity, then wonderful, please do. But obviously if you are sat in the office, that might not be something you can do. But what I would do is just invite you to sit back in your chair if you've got a back on your chair, just to have your back supported for this one and to feel a little more comfortable. So this technique involves making a sort of a whoosh sound almost and breathing out through the nose. Breathing out through the mouth. So what we're going to do is breathe in through the nose and make a sort of just a little whoosh sound as we exhale through the mouth. So it's only just sort of audible to you. It doesn't need to be loud. This technique is the 4-7-8 technique. So what we're going to be doing is breathing in for the count of 4. We're going to be holding the breath for the count of 7. And then we're going to be breathing out using that whoosh sound for the count of 8. Okay, so we'll just repeat this cycle, and hopefully you'll feel nicely relaxed whilst we do this one. So again, find a position. Like I say, just a bit more relaxed this time. So if you have the opportunity, sit back and relax into your chair or lie down and close the eyes. As always, start by just checking in with the body, just getting a sense of being in the present moment, coming away from any worries, any distractions, and just focusing that attention inwards on the breath. So just taking a couple of breaths, normal breaths, not changing it in any way, just observing how it is in this moment. So when you're ready, I'm going to count you in as I did before, just a couple of rounds, and then of course you can find your own pace for that counting. So we start with a breath in for 4, holding for 7, and releasing with that whoosh sound for 8. So when you're ready, breathing in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, breathing out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Big breath in. Hold. Out. Just find your own rhythm and your own pace, counting in your head. Last round now, breathing in for 4. Hold for 7. And out for 8. As you finish the round that you're on, just relax the body, relax the breath. Take a moment to just sense how you feel. Bring awareness down into the feet, into the legs, into the arms, into the face. Take in the sounds around you, the feel of space around you. And when you feel ready, just blinking the eyes open. If you've been lying down, then just sitting up in your own time. Lovely. So hopefully that made you feel nice and relaxed. And as you can imagine, if you're sort of doing that in bed, you can then just allow that sort of counting to drift off and you to drift into a nice sleep. So So yeah, I've introduced you to a few new techniques again today, and to be honest, there are lots of different techniques, lots of different breathwork techniques, and you know, if there's something that you we want to work on in particular, you know, like I say, with poor sleep, then this is a good one. There's lots of different techniques that can be used for different things, and so it's worth exploring. And as that one that I just showed you, that 4-7-8, again, you can find that on YouTube, and as well as all the other different techniques. So there's a few that I just wanted to, I've got a couple of minutes to draw your attention to that might be of interest. There is a technique called Tomo, which has been made famous by Wim Hof, who you may know, who's has brought this technique as a way of sort of coping with cold water swimming, and it's a really interesting breathwork technique, and it really does strengthen the diaphragm and help with a lot of issues. And actually, it's another one that involves quite a lot of breath holding, and you hold your breath for basically as long as you can, and it's very interesting. I did it myself for quite a few months, and I found within, you know, a short space of time, I was able to kind of hold my breath easily for 3 minutes. And yeah, and so it's quite amazing how you can really strengthen your breath in this way. Some of the other techniques to strengthen the diaphragm, it's called sandbag breathing, where you sort of put a sandbag, ideally on your tummy, and you sort of breathe into the belly and to strengthen the muscles there. There's also the hummingbee breath. That's a nice one. So that obviously involves that humming sound as you breathe. And this one, it releases nitric oxide, which is a sort of powerful molecule for increasing oxygen and widening the capillaries. So it's quite a soothing technique, and soothing for the muscles. And another popular one is alternate nostril breathing, and this particular technique is very good at bringing balance, making you feel very grounded. It's very calming, and obviously that just involves blocking off the different nostrils. So it's one to do when you're clear in your nose, and that's a really nice. That's another yogic breathwork technique. So, like I say, lots out there if you want to discover any more, and yeah, so do look them up or have a go at some of the ones that we tried today and see how they make you feel. So there's just a minute if anyone's got a question or would like to say anything from today.